Shelly, is that you? I didn't recognize you with the mask. Oh.
So Jennifer finally got those numbers. Well, they've currently at 65 trips, but it shows just to the preschool. Well, she sent us something that says, oh, I'm going to make $100,000. She forgot about $200,000. Right now, the budget shows they're going to about $900,000.
Again.
900.
So the preschool situation.
Well, I didn't.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin our service on page 10 as we breathe in a melody for Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh, Avarachaman, V'shovakam, Eretzona, Yarutzak Elohaya, Yishtachaveh Uradara, Ki Eralo Yediduta, Minofetzu Ve'gotan, Yigalena, Ufrosaviv alai, Etzugran Sheloma, Tani Eretz Bikoda, Na'anina Ve'nismecha Ma'eralon Ivamo Enem Ve'oneni Ki Me'ona. We continue together on page 11, Lehu Niranena. Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Daria, Daria, Suri Shenu, Nikalna Fanan, Naria, Naria, Suri Shenu, Bismira, Naria, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, Lehu Niranena, I was so excited for Shabbat, I forgot to greet all of you. It's wonderful to see you, whether in the sanctuary. I see many of you are zooming in. I also know that people are watching on Facebook and YouTube. Like I said, I was just so excited to be here with you on Shabbat that I forgot to say hello. So hello, we're going to continue together on page 14. Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim. Ramaya, Page 20, Romemu. Please rise. We turn to page 21, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid.
Seated. It's wonderful to see you dancing in the aisles from the youngest of us all the way up. It's a great way to begin our Shabbat experience. We're going to continue on page 22, Ana Bekoach. If you would, Adonai, may your mighty right hand undo the knot that ties us up. Accept the prayers of your people. You who are revered, raise us up and cleanse us. While our water fountains are closed, there's bottled water in the foyer. Please go and feel free to grab a bottle. Tradition teaches us that when we greet Shabbat, it's supposed to be like a wedding party seeing a beautiful Shabbos bride. So page 23, we greet our Shabbos bride, Lecha Dodi. Please be seated. We continue together on page 27, Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat.
Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat.
Page 29, Adonai Malach.
Thank you.
together, please rise, page 39B for the Baruch. Ahavat Olam, page 40. Ahavat Olam, Israel, Ahavat Torah mitzvot, mishpati, otzanu imaneta. Amen Adonai Eloheinu, Mishoreinu u'umeinu, Nasiyameinu Continue on page 44, Micha Mocha, who is like you, Adonai. Avinu Sheba Shemayim, shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you are our God. Please watch over us, please deliver us. And you, our God, you are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Please ensure our going and our coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ashkirenu Adonai, Eloheinu Yeshalom, Ve'avidenu V'aveinu Le'chaim. Ashkirenu Adonai, Eloheinu Yeshalom, Ve'avidenu V'aveinu Le'chaim.
I ask if you're able to do so, please rise. We sanctify Shabbat together. Vishamru, page 46. Transition into the silent Amidah for Friday night, beginning on page 47. Use the words of the Siddur or the private meditations of your heart.
indeed, maar het hasn't stopped though.
For those of you still praying your Amidah, please continue to do so. The rest of us may be seated. We'll continue together with Shalom Rav, page 51. Shalom, we make peace together, page 52.
Oh, say shalom, B'Romav, oh, yeah, say shalom, Aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imenu. Shalom, יתגדל וגדל שמי רבה, ועמדי ורק ימיתם למקותם ויכול ויכול וחיים בבית ישראל, לעגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מברך, ועלה להוויה, יתברך. יתברך ישלח ויפאר ומינשא, ויתהדר 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 שמי קדושה, ואין המקום רצה ושירתה, תושבחת ונחמתה לבין המלך, אמן. תתקבל צלות ההון והגות כל ישראל, ותדע בהון ושמיה ואמרו, אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים ולנבא כל ישראל, ואמרו, אמן. עושה שלום ברמה, ויעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו,
Shabbat Shalom. Wow. I've never been to hot yoga, but I think this is what it feels like. This is hot davening. So you can tell your friends when you come to Temple Beth Shalom on Friday nights in the summer, it's also a workout. And so I think I've lost about a pound tonight. It's actually not bad for me. This is just not the way to do it. We're fixing the air conditioning. It should be done by tomorrow morning, so don't be afraid. It should be safe. And you get an extra medal for being in shul on a Friday night in the summer, in the middle of the pandemic, in Las Vegas without air conditioning. I mean, look at the Jewish people. This Torah portion of Re'eh is really monumental because it begins by setting up the tone for what I think God expects human beings to be. Right? We all know that version of God where God controls everything. God is like a puppet master. God is behind everything that happens. But if you look at Parashat Re'eh, it's really a declaration of freedom of choice on human beings. Re'eh, Anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha u'klala. Today I set before you a blessing and a curse. It couldn't be clearer than that. God sets before us blessings and curses every day of our lives. And we decide what we choose. Now, please understand that we all may choose blessings all the time, but if somebody else chooses a curse, that curse may affect us too. And that's why it's very hard to control everything that happens around us. And that is when people ask, where was God when this or that was happening? The moment we get freedom of choice, some people are going to make bad choices. And many of us are going to pay for them. That's unfortunately real theology. That's unfortunately the way the world works. And all of us are involved in making decisions between blessings and curses every day of our lives. Now, if you want to talk about curses, and we want to recognize what curses are, I have to tell you, my grandmother was a champion of Yiddish curses. And I know them all, and there's some I cannot say from the pulpit, and every year I go over 2 or 3 of them. But my favorite one of them all is, and let me try to do this in Yiddish, Essen mit a Pferd und kacken wie a Feigle. May you eat like a horse and go to the bathroom like a little birdie. Right? That's a curse. Then she had another favorite one. May you grow like an onion with your head under the ground. And then the most amazing one of all times, may you only have one tooth and may it have a cavity. Now, it's interesting that we belong to a people that took the time to make all of these curses in Yiddish. When you could say that life around us was entirely a curse for many, many, many years, for centuries. The Cossacks were coming. And we had the guile to come up with these smart curses. It is almost in a very unusual way our own self-defense mechanism of protesting what other people call curses and trying to call attention to what real curses are in life. By the same token, our life as Jews, whether it was in Eastern Europe or in the Arab countries in the Middle East or in Northern Africa, wherever our families came from, also teaches us that sometimes our blessings are so many that we do not know how to count them. Because we get so enmeshed in the curses that we forget that blessings are also important. And let me give you an example of that. There is no doubt that this pandemic is an absolute curse. The fact that we cannot live our lives, that we cannot gather as we usually gather, that our children can go to school like they usually go to school, the fact that we cannot practice sports or watch sports as spectators as we usually did, that is a curse. But on the other hand, there are things that have become blessings too. I said the other day, I've never seen our community more united than now, which is a very unusual thing. You would think that now that we can't come together, we'll be completely split apart. But not a day goes by without a call of somebody asking if somebody needs something. Not a day goes by without people expressing their concern for other people in our community and trying to help in some way. Now, if you ask me, the most remarkable thing that we have done is the way in which we have taken in technology. That really, for me, has been a blessing. Look, now, our Zoom numbers and our Facebook numbers and our live stream numbers are going down, like they are going down for every other synagogue in the world. But never did we have so many people trying to understand and participate in what was happening here on a Friday or on a Saturday when it was not the high holidays. We were able, and we're still able, to get and reach people in their own homes, in their couch, in their living room. Sometimes we see too much. Sometimes we see too much. And you know, one of the things that's going to be interesting during the high holidays, when people join us on Zoom, is to make sure they're not wearing their pajamas. Because, yes, we've seen actually worse than pajamas. And, you know, it's Rosh Hashanah. So, technology has really given us a chance to go beyond places that we went before. And the rewards, although we cannot measure them yet, I think have been many. We have gained members who saw us on social media, who came to our services for the first time by attending a service on Facebook or on Zoom. That didn't happen before. And you know, the most remarkable thing is that we're not the only service out there. Everyone has their service online. Now, we decided, I'm going to speak a little bit of the high holidays, because I want to make sure that if you didn't understand the letters that you received, you at least can hear this with a Mexican accent and understand it better. We decided to actually have services with people in the sanctuary. We're going to abide by the limits that the state of Nevada asks us to have, which is 50 people. We're going to have 50 people in each one of our rooms. And so we're going to do our service twice, an early service and a late service on Rosh Hashanah, from 8:30 to 10:30 and then 11:30 to 1:30. Now, of course, you know that usually it's a 4.5-hour service. So those of you who get here usually like at 10 o'clock are going to be so happy, because in 2 hours you're going to get the entire service, or the abbreviated version of it, or the, I don't know what to call it, service. But we're trying to make it so uplifting that you will be inspired, whether you are here or watching us from home. And by the way, the reason why we are limited it to 2 hours is because A, we cannot be together for longer than that because of the spread of the virus in the same place. We're going to sanitize the synagogue in between services. But also because people at home, when you're watching a screen after 2 hours, your attention span completely goes away. So we chose to be quick but spiritual. And not only that, we now have something else happening. And this is one of the blessings. We never had a family service before. For the first time this Rosh Hashanah, we're going to have a family service in the multi-purpose room, which gives us a chance to accommodate another 50 people. And that service is going to go around 3 times, right? So there are going to be 150 people engaged in that service. Look, we cannot reach the numbers that we reach in person every year. But maybe we're going to reach families that perhaps didn't come, or send their children to school because there was nothing that they really felt was a service conducive to spirituality for them. Rabbi Hodgson is going to be doing that service together with Sonia Elkish, who plays the guitar on Friday nights. And we're working very hard to make it so beautiful and spiritual. And then, of course, we have Yom Kippur. Early and late Kol Nidre. It's almost like when you go on a cruise ship. Minus a buffet. Then, in the morning, of course, early and late, both services with Yizkor. A single mincha service, and here is the most important part. We're going to do Ne'ilah outside. And we're going to do a Ne'ilah like we've never seen before. You've seen it inside, right? With the glow sticks and the lights dimmed. We're going to do it outside as the sun goes down. So, the good news is, nobody's going to ask me if the fast is over yet. Because you're going to be able to see for yourselves that the sun is still there. And on the other hand, it's going to be beautiful, because there's nothing more powerful than combining the beauty of nature, the understanding that the day is going and the gates are closing, when you actually can feel it and sense it and watch it. And because we will be outside and social distance and wearing masks, we can possibly accommodate many, many more people. There is no limitation on outside numbers. So it's going to be a very interesting year. Who knows? Maybe we'll do Ne'ilah outside from now on. Maybe this is one of those blessings that we never understood as a blessing. Now, ironically, this Torah portion also has this obsession about reminding the Bnei Israel, or Moses reminds them, that you have to have a central place of worship. That you cannot have all of these little altars built all over the place. That you cannot be like the other peoples and worship their gods all over the place. That we had a central place. And it's interesting because this pandemic, and by the way, the story of the diaspora has been completely the opposite. Every synagogue becomes a sanctuary, like the temple used to be. And now, that idea that a home is a mikdash me'at, is a little sanctuary, really comes to life. When you allow us in, and when you come here from the distance, sanctity and holiness are being felt as if we were in the sanctuary itself. So that's the idea of what's happening in the high holidays. I know it's going to be different, and I know, Jews love change, so it's going to be great. Not really. We are very resilient to change. So it's going to be complicated, and it's not going to be perfect, but I guarantee you that it's going to be fulfilling. And just one more thing I have to explain. Somebody called me and asked me, Rabbi, why don't you just pre-record everything and just put it online? And the answer is, I am adamant that we pray as a community, whether you're here or at home, that we all pray at the same time. Right? I don't want people to pray alone. I want us to feel like we're praying with one another. I don't want this to ever become rehearsed. Tefillah, prayer, which one of the things that we say in Yom Kippur saves us from the evil, from the bad decree, is never meant to be robotic or programmed. On the contrary, it has to come from your heart. And without being spontaneous, without feeling the spontaneity, it can't come from your heart. So that in a nutshell is what I think is a blessing that we're gaining this year. And hopefully we're able to turn what we consider this horrible curse, almost like having one tooth with a cavity in it, and turn it into something that may not be the ideal, but we will remember not as a curse, but as a blessing. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to please ask us to rise. We're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 73.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, V'yiber Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon.
Kiddush is on page 76. Word on the street is Ruben Silverberg is helping us. Step right up.
You're not driving, right? What? You're not driving, right?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon anu zikaron Maser Bereshit, Ki Hu Yom Tehillah, Lemikra Kodesh, Zecher L'Siyah Mitzrayim, Ki Vanu V'Harta, Etanu Ki Gashta, Mekol Ha'amim, V'Shabbat Kodecha, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
That's disgusting. Can you get most of it?
Nah.
That's 2023 Manchevitz. What do you
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Yeshikoyach, Ruben. Aleinu is on page 56.
Alein Shabbat Adon HaKol, Lategid La'letzer Reshit, Shelo Asam V'yeh Haratzot, V'lo Samanu K'mishbevot Adama, Shelo Samta K'yilachem, V'gor Aleinu K'kol Hamonam, V'anachnu kolim, U'mishtachavim U'modim, Lifnei Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shir Nechit Ma'ameh Yosef, Shir Nechit Ma'ameh Yosef, כי המלכות שלך ארכי, ולומדים תמונות בכבוד, קראתי בתורתך, הלוואי לא לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated. On page 173, in the left-hand side of the page, we have an opportunity to perhaps say the most important prayer of 2020, a prayer for healing for those not only in our community but all over the world. Misha Berach, prayer for healing. Please join us.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Isheberach Imoteinu Mikor those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Simple Beth Sholom is acknowledging the yard sites of Simone April, Rebecca Benedict, Ellen Berman, William Bless, Esther Brenner, Albert Eisen, Eva Feingood, Gary Gertz, Shimon Greenberg, Shmuel Greenberg, Abe Groman, Judith Heck, Sol Hirsch, Joan Hochman, Carl Karchmer, Lillian Kronberg, George Levine, Lucille Post, Lorelei Rothman, Jerry Rubin, Sidney Schleppenstein, and Jules Shapiro. And we're acknowledging the Shloshim of Dr. Sheldon Shore. Mourners and those observing a yort site, please rise. Page 58 is the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra kirutei v'yamlik malkutei, v'chayechon uvyom echon uvchaye dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen, yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisham b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran be'alma v'imru amen, yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen, oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Thank you. Please be seated. We now have an opportunity to hear some synagogue announcements from our temple president, Jared Finkelstein.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us here in the sanctuary as well as online. You can join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Shabbat morning services, both here as well as online. I'm not sure what the equivalent is of when it rains, it pours for Las Vegas. I guess it's when it's hot, it gets really hot. But with everything else going on, we've obviously had some air conditioning issues, and are in the midst of replacing some of the major equipment. So thank you for bearing with us on that. To follow up a little bit also on the high holidays, I think one interesting thing for Ne'ilah will be, if you've been here for the drive-in movies, I think the Zoom screen will be projected onto the wall. So those of you who are At home for Nila, we'll still be able to see you when your lights are up. You'll be helping to light up our campus as well. So again, it may be the beginning of a new tradition, and the entire High Holy Days, I think, having seen what is being planned, I think while streamlined, it will be, I think, very spiritual and still bring us together as a community. So please check your emails for the registration materials. You can find them online as well. If you are not planning on being in the sanctuary for the services, and in prior years you've gotten dedicated seats or seat upgrades, I urge you, please do virtual seat upgrades or that sort of thing, because frankly we can use it. It is a time where we still, again, hope to come together spiritually very much as a community. There is a lot going on between now and then. This Sunday is the first day of religious school with an ice cream social at the conclusion of classes, so it starts at 9 a.m. on Sunday. If you haven't yet registered but plan on attending, come to class on the first day and we'll get you registered. Also, Underground Las Vegas begins on Monday at 4 p.m. on the 17th. That is for our post-religious school kids, to keep them involved in sort of our Jewish community here. Also, the Early Childhood Center started this week, and USY and Kadima will be starting their fall programming, so you can enroll with that. Again, High Holy Day registration. There's going to be a back-to-school raffle for the ECC from now until August 21st. It's open to both school parents as well as temple members. If you're not getting our emails, please call the office and get the email list, get on our email list. A number of our classes are still going on. We have Essential Talmud on Mondays at 4 p.m. It's available, of course, via Zoom. We also have chair yoga and boot camp with Liz, and that is 9 a.m. Tuesday for chair yoga and 9 a.m. Thursday for boot camp. We have History of Zionism on Thursday at 4 p.m. So again, a lot going on. There's the USY Kadima Back to School Snow Cone Special, where you can get a free cone of ice and some USY swag. And that's Monday the 24th at 6 p.m. And that's open to students in grades 4 through 12. If you know of a temple member who is in the hospital, ill at home, or in a nursing home, please contact the temple office to let us know. Shabbat Shalom.
Just one thing that I want to say quickly, which is really interesting. Jared wrote an idea for the honors for the High Holidays. So we're going to have the services, we're going to have the honors. We're actually going to ask people for pictures of themselves. And we're going to have the honors projected on the screen that you can see at home on the screens here, while the honor was, because we're not going to have our openings while the honor was supposed to take place. So you're going to have the half the screen DJ gallery and the other half the screen, the picture of people having the honor, with a brief description of who they are, how many years they've been members, etc. So also, when we ask you for the pictures, do not send us pictures in bikinis or in mosquitoes or anything like that. Okay, that normal shirts will do. So just let me know. Thank you. No. What? Okay.
No, you have to say it because it'll happen. No.
I had a teacher in a medical school that said in Jewish life, any permutation is possible. Just cover it.
That's funny.
Well, with that, Adon Olam is on page 211.
Adon Olam, Asher Olam, B'Tel Kol Tzivira, Be'nasam, Be'somo, B'Zaleh Shemo Yikra, Be'acharei Yikot Zakon, Le'vado Yino Nora.
It might feel like a curse that we had hot davening tonight, but I'm really blessed to be with all of you this Shabbat. If you came with somebody or you know someone, please get close to them. Otherwise, we'll bless you from a social distance. Yivarechecha, the blessing for Friday night. We say together, page 75.
Adonai Yivarek et Amo v'Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.